Good morning, my friend. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How the heck are you? Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know you are here. Happy Thursday. Thursday. It is Thursday today. It's kind of hard to tell when you've got that midweek holiday. It kind of feels like a Monday. Welcome to Men Up with Mike. My name is Mike Cameron, and as always, I will be your host. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about the trouble with men, and not in the context of there's a problem with men, but more in the context of, hey, good morning, Anne. More in the context of some of the challenges that we run into, that we create for ourselves to some extent. And there's been a few things that have come up for me this week that I just want to talk about a little bit. But before we dive in, I'm going to give it a minute or two for people to hop on. Drop me a note in the chat if you're watching on mikecameron.ca/live. Would love to have you over there. You'll need to log into the site to watch over there, and we can chat on that. I would greatly appreciate it. Having you join us over on mikecameron.ca, starting to put up a lot more content there. And in fact, I've got some resources. I've actually got a new resource over at mikecameron.ca for you. If you guys have followed me for any length of time, you've probably heard me talk a little bit about forehead time in the context of deepening connection with your partner. And so yesterday I published a video. One of my coaching clients had asked me to put together a video that he could share with his partner that explained forehead time and talked a little bit about the intention behind it and how Michelle and I use that to deepen our connection with each other. He just felt like he might have a bit of a hard time explaining it. So asked me to put that video together. And I thought, you know what, that's a brilliant idea. Sometimes guys have a bit of a difficult time articulating some of the things that we want or need in a relationship. So if I can help articulate that for you, then I'm happy to do that. So in fact, you know, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever kind of relationship you are in, I think there could be some value there in sharing that with your partner. If you're looking to deepen connection with your partner, have a look at the latest post I put up on mikecameron.ca and see if sharing that with your intimate partner might be valuable, because I kind of think it will be. So today, again, talking about the trouble with men and some of the challenges that I see. So before we dive into that, I want to touch a little bit on even the title of this show, Men Up with Mike. The reason that I chose the term men up versus man up or anything else is because I think part of the problem we run into, Anne's messaging me. Something going on? Oh, Anne says it's okay. There's a challenge on the site. I will have a look at that, Anne. Oh, that's interesting. I may have screwed something up. Anyways, so yeah, again, the Men Up with Mike, the plural men really was intentional, because as guys, one of the biggest challenges that I see for us as men is that we try to do everything alone, that we try to do everything by ourselves. We are taught, conditioned that, we've got to do this solo, that we're lone wolves. We've got this covered. And, that even that man up implies that. So that's why I chose the title Men Up. So it's about building a community of men to lift each other up and support each other. We don't have to do this thing alone. God knows it's fucking difficult. Some of the pressures that we feel from a societal standpoint, some of the pressures that we put on ourselves, but understanding that we don't have to do this alone is critical to our longevity and our success, quite frankly. So I think it's really, really important to acknowledge that we don't have to do this alone. The problem that I continue to see over and over and over and over again is that we run into these stereotypes, these tropes that continue to perpetuate this myth that we have to do things alone. Even the well-intended ones often undermine that sense of community. Often they will continue to sort of put forth, and likely not intentionally, this myth of us going it alone, and it becomes this badge of honor that we wear, that I do this alone, that I can handle this, I got this covered. And the reality is, we just can't really do this alone well. I want to share with you a meme that I've seen a few times now, and it was posted on mikecameron.ca. And again, the intent here is fantastic. So the quote here is, shout out to all the men going through a lot with no one to turn to, because this world wrongly taught our men to mask their emotions and that strong means silent. Again, I love the intent of this. I love calling out the challenges with the world wrongly teaching our men to mask their emotions and that strong means silent. Strength doesn't mean silence. As I've often said, it actually takes a lot more courage to articulate what's going on inside of you than it does to remain silent. So silent is not strong. But let me point out, and I'm curious, I'm going to give you 30 seconds here. Do you see a problem with this quote, with this meme? Let me know your thoughts. Before I dive into my little rant, I would love to know your thoughts. Do you see a problem with this meme? Again, understanding that it's well-intentioned, but do you see a problem with this? Do you see some challenges with this? Because I certainly do. So let's dissect this a little bit. Shout out to all the men going through a lot with no one to turn to. Hey, good morning, Stacy. How are you, my friend? Shout out to all the men going through a lot with no one to turn to. So again, I love that first part. Shout out to all the men going through a lot. Because there's a lot of us going through a lot, having a lot of struggles and challenges. But this with no one to turn to is such utter bullshit that it drives me batty. And again, I get the intent. We often feel like we've got no one to turn to, but that's not the case. Yeah, but Stacy, I'm challenging this one because I don't actually love everything about this. I love the intent, but again, this shout out to all the men that are going through a lot with no one to turn to suggests that we have no one to turn to, and that's not the case. Because this world has wrongly taught us to mask our emotions and that strong means silent, we choose not to turn to anyone. And yeah, that's a problem. But what I don't like about this is that it removes the power from us as individuals. The world wrongly taught us. It's the world's fault that we have no one to turn to. Take some personal fucking responsibility and understand that, yes, it's hard. Yes, we've been conditioned that we've got to do this alone, but we don't. We don't have to do this alone. And there are a lot of places that we can turn. So again, I love the intent of this, but I think it falls short. I think it misses the mark. And in fact, I think it perpetuates this, we're doing it all alone, because this becomes this badge of honor. I'm going through a lot with no one to turn to. That's just my fate as a man. That does not have to be your fate as a man. I get that it's hard. I get that we've been conditioned that way. Anne says, I agree, although it didn't hit me reading it just now or when I saw it earlier. Yeah, again, the first couple of times I saw it, I really liked it. I thought, you know what, this is great. But then when you dive a little bit deeper, and it's subtle, and I understand that it's nuanced, and people will get up in my face about, Mike, you're being all picky about this shit. The intent was good. Yeah, absolutely. But language is important. How we present these things are really important. So again, I don't mind the intent. In fact, I love the intent of this. But I do wonder about this. Shout out to all the men going through a lot with no one to turn to, because it allows us just to normalize that and say, yeah, I'm going through a lot and I've got nobody to turn to, which kind of gives us permission to go inwards and turtle again. And it's the world's fault that I'm doing that. To me, this one is not super empowering. To me, this one is, in fact, limiting. So I don't love it when I dive into this a little bit more. And there's a lot of that. I see a lot of that, again, well-intentioned, the self-help gurus, these motivational accounts that are trying to move the needle on this. I still think we get stuck in these tropes. I'm going to share Sean. Yeah, so Sean posted this. I think a lot of men compartmentalize because they think they don't have anyone to turn to. And part of it is fear of being judged. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have no argument with the fact that a lot of men feel like we have nowhere to turn to. But my worry with memes like this is it normalizes and sort of perpetuates this as fact that we have no one to turn to. We absolutely have someone to turn to, but it takes some courage to do so. Even more so for myself because I'm at Combat Arms with Combat Tours. Yeah, Sean, for sure. For sure. But we need to break that trope, that stereotype. And Sean, hats off to you for doing that, man. I appreciate everything you do. Sharing what you share is so important. Sharing our stories. So I want to share another story where this came up this week. Michelle had signed up for, have you guys ever read that Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus book? Very popular. It's been around for a while. So she signed up. They've got a free relationship course. So she was curious how their messaging differed from mine. So she signed up for this course. And again, talk about perpetuating some of these negative stereotypes. And in fact, the stereotypes that actively hurt us. I'll come back to this one because I'm going to go through some of your comments here. Men may feel they have no one to turn to. We need to condition, teach, empower, and create environments for our sons and boys that they do have someone, recognizing who those key and valuable supporters are in our lives. Absolutely, Stacy, 100% with you. And this is why I struggle with this meme, that it kind of perpetuates this, that we have no one to turn to. I wish it was a little more specific about we have a choice to turn to someone. Chuck says, breaking the silence for guys, for me anyway, is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. I find the more I personally break the silence, the easier it gets to do it next time. Yes, absolutely. It's practice, it's repetition. It's just, this is what I talk about all the time. You know, with physical fitness, we understand that if we want to get more fit, we've got to lift more weights, we've got to do more reps. And the heavier the burden, the heavier the weight, the stronger we get. The more times we lift that weight, the stronger we get. So it's absolutely about getting the reps in. All right, so I want to come back to this men are from Mars, women are from Venus stuff. And again, this is just boggles my mind how some of this stuff perpetuates these stereotypes. So they're talking about stress and how men deal with stress in a relationship. So when a woman is stressed, she reaches out to those she trusts and she talks about her problems, responsibilities, and stresses. She does this with a cup of tea with her girlfriends, yada, yada, yada. The kind of communication promotes the production of intimacy hormone oxytocin, which helps lower stress. Then it goes on to say, men, however, deal with stress differently. Rather than turn toward intimacy and communication, men feel the need to temporarily pull away from the intimacy in a relationship and go into their cave. It's less of a calculated decision and more of an instinct. In Mars-Venus lingo, cave time is a man's version of relaxing to forget his problems. Again, this is just such bullshit. This perpetuates this. This break allows him to not only lower stress but also to rebuild testosterone levels. Men need an average 30 times more testosterone than women. So again, it perpetuates this myth that men need to cave. We need to turn away from our partner when we're stressed. This is a course on relationships. So these guys are actually teaching people that this is just the way men are. We need to turn away when we are stressed. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Turn away, turn towards. It's a fucking choice. We have a choice. Maybe a million years ago when we were knuckle dragging mouth breathers, we might not have had a choice. Maybe it was instinct then. But I'd like to think that we have evolved a little bit since that time. And when we get stressed out, yeah, sure, maybe our natural tendency may be to turn away, maybe to turtle, but that doesn't mean it's okay. If you want to strengthen your relationship, guys, learn to turn towards. And ladies, you too, and ladies, you also need to know how to receive that when the man does turn towards you, because that can be a problem as well. Sean says, I'm a firm believer that when you're stressed in a relationship, you turn towards your partner. No matter what is said or how angry you are, you should always be able to tell your partner you love them and show it. Yeah, absolutely. So again, this is where it just blows my mind. We have these people that are authorities in the relationship space. This men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know, that was incredibly popular in its day and clearly still carries on. But this teaching, so this was specific to women. So this was what Michelle got. And they're basically just telling the women that you just need to understand that your knuckle dragging, mouth breathing husband or partner just needs some cave time to recharge and de-stress. And that they're going to turn away and that's okay. You just need to accept that. And I just thought that is such horseshit. That is such horseshit. Guys, we're fucking better than that. We can do better than that. I get that sometimes, absolutely, our instinct is to turtle. It's to go down into the cave. Hey, Jorgen, how you doing, brother? But we don't have to do that. It is a choice. It is 100% a choice. Whether we choose to turn towards our partner in the time of stress or whether we choose to turn away, it is 100% a choice that we have each and every time. And I'm not suggesting we're going to make the right choice every time, but it is absolutely a choice. Jorgen, man, you make me smile, brother. Pretty decent. Jorgen's doing pretty decent. It's good to have you here every morning. I love seeing you pop in. So yeah, again, in the context of self-help, We get a lot of this that really just perpetuates some of these negative stereotypes, these negative tropes. And again, all well-intentioned, but we really do need to take a critical look at these things. And trust me, guys, like, I'm not one to get overly politically correct, because that is absolutely not my jam. And it drives me nuts when, we have to be so politically correct that we just can't say anything. So, I'm not about that at all, but we do need to be careful with our language. We do need to think about, what does the language we use do to either perpetuate or remove some of those stereotypes or those tropes? So again, I would love to know your thoughts. Where do you see that? Do you see that? Can you keep an eye out for that this week? Here's my challenge to you. Have a look in your everyday life and see if you can find areas, even where they're well-intentioned, where it perpetuates some of this myth. Intro is misworded. Mike, we need to get away from the challenges, not around them. When I say my challenge for you today, I don't have a problem with challenges. And it's about getting through them. See, that's another conversation, Ann, you and I can have. I don't know that we're ever going to get away from challenges. We need to learn to move through them and work with them. But again, that's back to my embrace the suck mentality. That's a different conversation altogether. But I would love it if you would pay a little bit of attention this week and just have a look at where some of these things come from. Where do these actually show up? Because we're getting much better at the overt conversation when it comes to men's mental health. Absolutely, we're getting much better at that overt conversation. But we're still struggling a little bit with the subtle, the subtext. Shout out to all men going through a lot with no one to turn to. Bullshit, we've got people to turn to. It's hard because this world has taught us to wrongly mask our emotions, and that strong means silence. So it's hard. I get it, it's hard. But we have a choice. When something's got to change, maybe it's you, man. Maybe it's you. Anyways, my friends, I could chat on this for hours because I think it's really important. I know it's really important. It's critical, in fact, that we have this conversation and that we look at these things with a critical eye. Anyways, my friends, once again, I would love it if you would join me over at mikecameron.ca. Join our community there. Aaron, there we go. Aaron just dropped a post on the community talking about his passion for fitness. Again, it's really about building a community of like-minded individuals. I'm starting to put up more resources there. Like I said at the beginning, if you weren't with me in the beginning, I just published a resource for you, a video for you that you can share with your partner. If you are looking to connect deeper with your partner, your intimate partner, I posted a video that you can use, that you can share with them, that will help you, whether you're a man or a woman, that you can share with your partner, that I can guarantee you will help create a better connection, a deeper, more meaningful connection with your partner. No matter how connected you are right now, I can guarantee you that if you share this video with them, you will get more connection. All right, my friends, as always, continue to make beautiful shit happen and have yourselves a fantastic day. And wait, I'm going to do the outro with my boy, Chris. He created this song. Sorry, I'm going to find it. I'm just super, super proud of the work that he's doing. So this music is created, produced by my son, Chris. So I'm just going to rock out to this as we leave today. Have yourselves a great day, guys. I definitely need a fade to black.